half is exactly the same as this. So you have your loin, which runs across there, which is known as the sirloin. Then you have the fillet, which runs underneath. So the fillet runs underneath your ribs. Okay? Really, really tender, doesn't do any work at all. That's why it's such a beautiful piece of meat. If we cut straight down there and all the way along, what cut of meat will we get? Yeah, T-bone. If you look at it there, there's your bone that runs down. Piece of meat runs down there, there's the bone. Sirloin one side, fillet the other, and that's your T-bone steak. First thing is take the fillet out. What we need to do is get really close to the bone, because that fillet alone there, if we sold it on its own, would be about 55, 60 quid. Okay, so we need to make sure we don't cut it, we don't leave anything on there. Okay, with a knife, make sure that you always got your foot on top. If you slip down like that, and go straight through your tendon. So always keep a cloth at the side, always make sure that the handle's not greasy. You've got your hand on top. The first thing is get in, you want to see what you do? Right, you can't see from there. Find the bone structure. Once you find the big bone, it's to the end it's for the H bone. It's not H, it's the A-I. So you put a finger in, feel the bone structure, and just gently free the fillet off the top of the carcass. Then back up to the top, see where the bone is, in there. Again, get in nice and tight. So that starts to come away. So down your back, you can feel the back of your spine, and each one's like a knuckle, little vertebrae. And that's what we're trying to get around here. We're almost coming around, each time back is a little half move. Nice and gently, a bit of time, and the fillet will come away. Okay, when we get this bit here, you can see this bit? Okay, that's called the chain. So you've got a chain attached to the actual fillet. That chain is what goes into burgers and things like that. Go back to the top, finding the bone structure. Okay, you want to line so you can see that now? It's nice and clean, the bones are all nice and clean, not left anything on. Each one of those is a rib. You can see how big the ribs are. So get back up to the top. Right. In comparison, your rabbit fillet is going to be about as big as your finger. So it's going to be quite difficult to take off. Right, at this stage, now level. We'll level the base of the fillet, which is there. Okay, so I want to get my hand underneath there. Again, take some time to go from down to the level of the ribs now. And this is where we can use a lot of meat. Bear in mind we're dealing with 50 odd quid here. There's a little bit at a time. And your fingers start to go really cold and numb. And you end up cooking yourself. It's all good, and this is just easing this away. So we get to the actual head of the fillet. Yeah, so the whole meat fillet is now off. Okay, just hook it in, make sure everything's fingers, and then just put that down, and the fillet will come away on its own. Okay, so there's the fillet. Yeah, a beautiful bit of meat. Like I say, that bit down there, as you can see now, things down there, it's called the chain. Okay, so that bit there's the chain. That's the bit that goes into your burgers. Or stocks and things. Not a lot on it. Yeah. Okay. The top of the fillet is called the chateaubriand. Okay? That's the expensive bit. And the bottom bit is called the fillet tail. Okay, that's that way now. Right, then we left the loin of the meat, or the eye of the meat, which runs all the way down the centre there. Sometimes if you cut across there, pork chop, yeah, not on there, it's Veal. Right, so now we come back to the bit here, which is your back of your ribs. What we need to do is cut down the plate is that bit there. Again, there's a lot of meat. You have to be really careful. So, it's getting greasy. Baby cow is actually really greasy. Right, I've got 3 off the top. Just takes a bit of time because I'll find the knuckles. Get around these knuckles. A lot of chefs, like I said, will buy the sirloin in already done because it's quite time consuming, but you get all the bones from it. It is a skill and it's a lot cheaper if you do it yourself. Now here,
Next one, you stop.
right?
You have a nice one.
Yeah, stop. Right, this bit here is the elastin. Okay, or it's the tendon. You have to be really careful you go through that. Sometimes it pings back at you and makes your knife move. This is another reason why you've got your knife. Did it go there? Okay, here is where the real big tendon is. So at the top of the H right now, just work way around it. Okay, so that's now starting to come away. We've got to get down to this bit here, which is the middle of your spine, basically your spine. This is where it starts to get difficult. You've got to get your fingers right down the bottom of this. Don't mind your hands so cold. So I'm not pushing away. So the way down. Make sure you're not leaving it on the bone. Right, now we're on the knuckles. So put your fingers inside there and feel the knuckle bone. Well, get your fingers in there. You're going to need to do it with your rabbits next week or a week after, so you need to feel it. You know what you're looking for?
Is it just that side?
Yeah, you go to the same all the way along. Let's feel the depth of the bone. So it's knobbly, it's all the way along. Yeah?
It's alright.
Right, so now we need to work our way along really gently, taking off each knuckle. Keeping the pressure on this side of the meat. And you need to do this for your rabbit. So every time you come to a new knuckle, go around it and free it off. In a minute, you'll be able to see where I'm going. Somebody can have a go. Get 3 or 4 of these free, and then you'll be able to see where we are. Right, when we've got the knuckles free, and what we do then is come down the ribs, the bone. Nice and tight. You come around this side so you can all see. So it's the same principle with the rabbit. Get hold of it, your knife there, come straight down the ribs. Plenty of pressure on, so we're actually freeing off now each rib. Okay? Again. Does anybody fancy having a go? Bear in mind the cost we're dealing with.
Might do that one.
Well, I'll have a go. Right, so what I've done, I've freed off the 2 ribs there. Look, they've now come off the ribs. So the knuckles are free. See what I'm doing at the time? You can take this off now to about there. So I've got your hand in, nice and flat to the bone. Place that right off the bone, make sure not to back it by something. Okay, right, what it's doing there is this is folded underneath. You can't really put back into the meat, just make sure that's all free. You all see, Karen? Okay, now go free off another knuckle to get right up to the top. Ron, you can't bring it. Okay, first, you sit down.
tendons and stuff.
So remember, the structure is exactly the same on a rabbit, obviously just a lot smaller and a lot more delicate. So when you do, you made the boning knife maybe too big, so you may want to swap your little paring knife. Exactly the same thing, just opposite size.
Looks loads.
Damn, I'm not expecting to do it. Wow.
We're going down this route.
That's it, yeah. Keep going. This is the egg bone here, so get your fingers in. Feel it, it's a lot bigger and chunkier at the end. Feel your way round. Fingers gone cold yet.
I've normally been working out there though, as well, yeah.
You all remember this when we started doing it ourselves. So I said to video it. You've got a reference for it. This is the hardest bit now because you're up near the neck and where it starts going to the shoulder blade, so the complexity of the bone you just get a lot more.
Well, let's see what it's like.
You want me to send you this later? This way.
Okay, good, well done. Right, well. There's our bones. Right, the next stage then what you'll need to do is make sure when your meat will be exactly the same, nice big piece, and then you have another little chain down the bottom here. Now the chain you always take off. Again, it's a bit tough. That goes into your burgers again as well. They can legally put that into your burger because it's 100% meat. Just because it says 100% meat doesn't mean to say prime cuts. It's one of the biggest cons. Okay, so now we're leveling high of our meat, it's beautiful. Top end we would normally cut off for minute steaks, so steak sandwiches, because it has a little bit of sinew running through the top. The important thing you need to do is make sure you get this elastin out, which is up here. It's like a big, thick rubber band that runs all the way along the back of the meat. If you don't, when you cook it, it's going to shrivel, your meat's going to go like that, and it's going to be tough as hell. Doesn't matter what you do, it'll be tough. So the first thing you do is find the elastin, and you can put your fingers in, and you'll feel it. It's there. Okay, so all you're going to do is just run the knife along. Make sure you're not getting much meat, because all we want is the rubber band out. Another way of doing it is you cut into it and do it this way. You'll see. But it's really, really tough. And if that doesn't come out, your meat's going to be horrible. Again, remember how to holding the knife? You've got the knife secure. It is quite tough. See how much pressure I'm actually putting on it to get this elastic band out. Okay. Okay, so that's the elastic out. Double check it because I've missed a bit there, so you want to just double check. It's so tough. Obviously on a rabbit it's a lot easier. Okay. 100% meat. Burger.
bit of fat there.
So your elastic band or your elastin now, you can see fibres are in it. Made of about 5 or 6 tough fibres. Horrible. So when you get a burger, you get a chewy gristly bit or a sausage, that's what it is. Right, there's our eye of our meat. Okay, nice and trimmed up. Elastin is out. We've got a little bit of fat left on there. That's fine. You can leave that on or you can take it off. Personally, on a lean piece of meat like this, if I'm making a steak, I'd leave it on. If I'm poaching the eye, I'd take it off. On a rabbit, you need to take it off, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, the top bit should, which is in the training is known as the bar or skin, which should just pull away. If it gets stuck, don't rip the meat, just free it. And if you keep pressure on it, you just nick the end of it. It comes off quite easily. Okay, what we'll do with that?
Make a purse.
Like this stuff can be rendered down. You can use it to wrap the baguettes in. That one. Baguettes or sausages. So if you scrape that away, what you're actually left with is caul, which is the outside there, the really, really thin stuff. That doesn't look going burgers. So right, so now we're left with just the protective layer. Again, take it off, because if you feel that, it's quite tough. So again, once that heat hits it, your skin does that. It's exactly the same process as this. Okay, so I'm going to use some the other thing. Okay, now, I wouldn't normally use a boning knife for this.
Nearly 18 minutes.
I'd use a paring knife or a filleting knife. You want to be able to get right underneath it. So, what are you going to do? Work your knife underneath. Keep it tight and angled up, and sinew will come away. Swap it around the other way. So, tight, knife angled up, take the sinew off. It's quite a time-consuming job. But if you don't, when you serve your meat, it's going to be tough. Like, yeah, something like that. All the way along. Once you get one strand going, you're alright. But then again, if I lost a lot of meat here, you're talking a lot of money on this bit of meat here. So we want to make sure it's like it's skinning fish, but the opposite way around. It's upside down. To make sure all this is beautiful and clean. When you've been doing it a long while, you can get big strips of it, take big strips off. This bit up here, see the difference? That's quite, well, there's nothing there. This is fat. That's protected fat because it's going up towards the neck end. Okay? So up to the neck end, you've got more working parts and more fat, more protection. So we'll get all this off. Okay, so what's the head of the fillet called? You can remember that? Yeah. Chateaubriand, yeah. Okay, very old-fashioned 60s dish, making a bit of a comeback in London restaurants. You'd normally serve it with béarnaise sauce, hollandaise sauce, something like that, with a Butchery vegetables. What's that, Harry?
Veg wrapped up.
Yeah, classic Butchery vegetables, very old-fashioned dish, again making a comeback. That's on the menu on Thursday night. Right, as we get towards the top here, there is a slight seam in the meat. You can see it there. So you can feel it's almost like a separate cut of meat there. If you cut into it, that would come away. We don't really want that to come away, so we need to be careful when we get around the top of this bit here and trim from the outside in. Just a little bit at a time, because underneath you can see the seam. You see what I mean? So if we want to take that bit off, that's basically, the animal's this way round. That's his back. And it's coming down this side, or this side. It's where it goes down into the shank and into the shoulder. So that would be the cushion of veal. So if we wanted to do what's called seam butchery, get a bit of pressure on, and we'll cut through that seam. Does anybody like veal?
Yeah.
Okay, who's not had veal? What I'll do, when I get this cushion off, we'll cook it for you.
I've never tried it, so yeah.
What's the other one? Like venison, venison sisters.
Okay, so that now is a loin of meat which is ready. Your rabbit will look like that. Okay? Now on a rabbit, your bones are a lot smaller. Obviously they're not like these blooming great ribs on here. What you tend to do with a rabbit is then snap the bones off, clean the bones, and then you stick them back in so it looks like a mini rag. Which we'll show you when we do it anyway. Obviously you can't do those because they're huge. But your eye of meat's going to look like that. Your fillet, same principle. Obviously this is a much more delicate piece of meat. So you take the chain off, yeah, put it to meat, your burger. What's this? Yeah.
What is it? Catch that one.
Bristle.
No.
Sweetbread.
Oh.
Okay. This is suet. Okay, so you know you put in your Christmas puddings and things? You can grate that, and that's proper suet. Very, very expensive. Grate it down, suet puddings, that's what it is. Beautiful. Right, there's your fillet. Same process. Obviously we've got 50 quid, about 50, 60 quid worth here. So we need to be very, very careful when we're trimming this up. Okay, this is a lot more delicate. We can leave that on, but again, it does go a little bit tough. We will fix that off. Obviously, on your fillet of rabbit, it is tiny. You must serve the fillet part of your dish. Okay, we cut down straight down there. We've got fillet steaks. Head of the fillet, Chateaubriand. If we serve the whole thing with Chateaubriand, is basically that roasted. Okay, if we cut them into small steaks, what are they called? Sorry, that way round, on there, working up to the head. So the fillet, but the little one's got a name.
You've seen it?
Nearly, yeah, medallions, or proper name is tornidos. So a little tornidos steak is that. The fillet normally goes into stroganoff, so I'm going to fry some of this and let you taste it. Very, very, taste a bit too. Okay, so that is how you're going to do your rabbit. You do your loin and you do your fillet. You have your bones, you roast your bones off, you make your own stock. Depending on how the rabbits come in, they may have the kidneys in. Serve the kidneys, you get extra points. Okay, rabbit kidneys are beautiful and delicate. So they say. I don't like them. I don't like
Same
any
as a cat.
kidney.
It's the only way you can tell a rabbit from a cat is that's how it's got his head on.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. One last thing.
Yes.
Okay, so we cut that in the centre. What we've got in here, get this out. In the middle of the meat, and what the cheeky buggers, what they've done, they've actually took it out. But this stuff that's left in here